Okay. All right. Okay. Nice. So just let's wait for a while. So we wait for the others. Show you on presentation mode later. Okay. It's a combination of tactical and theory. Because since this like a 1 hour session only, so we cannot do like a step-by-step method. So what I can do is I share my experience and knowledge, and maybe afterward, then we can do the like a step-by-step guidance if we have more time. Okay, don't worry. Okay, alright. Okay, actually Mustaqim untuk Adobe Premiere dengan Vegas Pro tak banyak beza lah. It's not too much. Cuma macam Vegas Pro ni dia not that too technical. So Vegas Pro ni kadang dia ada yang macam user friendly, easy to use lah. Tapi dari segi teori tu almost the same je, sama je. Okay, I think we can start now, alright? Because we already start late. Okay, first of all, terima kasih dan selamat datang ke workshop Modern Editing and Transition Technique. Okay, workshop ni selama 1 jam. Okay, akan dibawa oleh saya. Okay, sedikit kenalan. Okay, so this is me. Alright. Nama saya Ismail. Some of people call me Mawi Sawi. Okay, it's like a nickname. Okay, I've been here in the industry and education more than, I rasa dah dekat lebih daripada 15 tahun kot. Okay, previously working as a trainer or lecturer in the Lingkok Wing and also KRU Academy, dan sekarang ni I menjadi trainer, multimedia trainer di SG Academy. So actually workshop ni kita jalankan di dalam my lab . So pardon me kalau ada terdengar suara student. Okay, as a background student. Okay Hani, okay, I try to speak English as much as I can. Alright, so I also active with Malaysia Animation Club, Comic Club, and Graphic Club. Okay, and also active with JPK as a part of their expert industry, and also certified as a HRDF trainer. Alright, so what we're going to do today, okay, it's quite simple. Alright, we're going to see a simple technique that we can do inside Premiere Pro, okay, to edit our video. Alright, so before we go to our Premiere, okay, let's see the theory first. Okay, what is modern editing? Okay, modern editing is the current trend. Actually, the current trend is much more easier than the previous one. Okay, the previous one, when we have like a MTV influencing, okay, influencers, where all the video we will be put a lot of effect. But nowadays, because all the creative artwork that we do, it's need to be social media friendly. That's mean the same asset that can be posted in YouTube can be posted in your social media, and also can be burned as your DVD or CD gift. All right. So when the current trend, where we go forward to more simple, straightforward. Okay, as I said previously, social media friendly, and most of the video is in the short duration. Okay, it's very straightforward, not like the previous one, like a 5 to 10 years before. For Premiere Pro, we don't have apps for Android, but we have like a Premiere Rush for iOS. So Premiere Rush also is quite similar to Adobe Premiere. Okay, but the technique that I will show to you is the same technique that you can use editing apps that you can find inside your smartphone. Okay, so that's about the modern editing. Okay, let's go back, see what is the basic editing. So usually previously what we do, okay, for basic editing is you need to remember two technique. Is there will be a cut and dissolve. So cut will be a very like a hard cut, all right. Dissolve will be like a smooth transition between clip to clip. And fancy transition usually we use for like a product and also a corporate video. All right. Okay. So before we continue to the next slide, I'm going to show you some example. All right. So for this workshop, I already create a few example. Okay. This is what we do like when we using a normal cut. So when we use a normal cut, usually our video a little bit look like jumping and disturbing a bit. But sometimes when you apply the correct formula of the camera shot size, then the flow will be a little bit smooth. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Okay, this is a direct cut editing that we do for our customer. All right, a simple cut, okay, to promote the process, okay, what they do. Okay, usually for social media, we tend to do a fast cut because we want to minimize the size of our video. So this is an example for direct cut. So very simple. It's like offline where you have all your sequence, you put it in your timeline inside your Adobe Premiere. Then we cut it according to shot that we need. Okay. So here also is another example. Okay, this is example when we apply dissolve transition. So the field will look a little bit different from the previous video. Okay, for the second video, it look more smooth, okay, compared to the first one, because we apply dissolve uh, in between our two clip. All right. So as you can see here, okay, this is our clip that we already arranged, and we put a dissolve between of two clip. But some of the clip, just we simply using a direct cut. Okay, So because it will look more better when you use a direct cut. So that's a two example when you use or you editing using a basic editing, cut and dissolve. Okay, so let's continue. Another topic about the editing, I'll come back to the video after this, okay, is a transition. For the modern transition editing, mostly, or as you can see, the new trend, it's they try to tend to do a seamless transition. So the meaning of seamless transition, that means we cannot see the editing point there. So there's a connection or synchronization between two clips where it looks like it been shot simultaneously. Okay, so it will create a smooth effect and you don't have to apply a dissolve for the seamless transition. All right, so a few example of seamless transition that I'm going to show it today. Okay, we're going to do like a fade to black, object masking, time remapping, and also before and after. Okay, for fade to black is quite simple. Okay, a lot of people do it using their smartphone. Okay, let me show you. Okay, this is a example of a fade to black. Yeah. Okay, so we use our hand or any object to create like a black area or fade to black, then we transit to the next scene. So it's look like jumping in a smoothly effect where we can see like the time is being compressed from the class to the outside of the building. Okay, so this also can be done using your hand, or the camera can move to your shirt or any kind of object that create a darkness to your video. So usually we tend to find, okay, as you can see here, there's no transition between two clips. All right, so if I can move it slowly frame by frame, so you can see it's become darker and transit to the next scene where the action continue, then we have our seamless transition. So this is a very popular transition that been done, okay, nowadays, and you can do it or experiment it as you like, using any object, as I said before, just to cover your lens, make it darker. All right, so to do this is quite simple. So we're going to try it out. Okay, you will have a two clip. So let me go to my project panel. Okay. All right, inside our project panel. Okay. Oops. Quite sensitive. My mouse quite sensitive. Okay. So I'm going to put my two clip. Okay, this is the first clip. Okay, we're going to take it out and bring it to our timeline. Okay, so this is the first one. So from the first one, so we need to cut to the point where our hand cover our lens. All right, so I'm going to zoom into my timeline. Okay, so we're going to play it around. Okay, so cover it until you see all the lens is covered and become darker. All right, so we're going to cut it here before we continue with the next scene. So for the next scene will be here. Where is my next scene? All right. So similar from the first process. So we're going to start from the darker screen. Okay, where we cover our lens and the hands move to see the next scene. All right. So this is how we do it. So the action continue. So you can do with your hand, you can do while running, or you can do like the camera move to your shirt. Okay, it become darker and suddenly appear at the back. Okay, there's a lot of way we can do this. All right, so this is quite simple, very straightforward. Okay, you just cover your lens, become darker. All right, fade to black, and then we continue with our next scene. So no transition. So it's look like it been shot continuously from one scene to another scene. All right. So that is fade to black. Okay. So after fade to black, so we have object masking. So for modern editing, usually we already plan the shot that we want. So that's why it's quite easy to do. And when we apply it to editing, we already plan how it looks like. Okay. So for object masking, the tips and trick is usually we need to find uh, like a big object that to cover part of our scene. Okay, I'm going to show to my Premiere. Okay, so this is example. I prepared two example. Okay, so let me maximize my screen. So it's a changing from lab scene to the parking scene. Where we're going to use the beam as our main object to transition between both scene. Okay, so as you can see, it's like a time relapse from inside to outside. So, but this one we are doing quite simple because it's already planned. So as you can see, we only use a simple transition dissolve to combine or to stitch between these two shots. Okay. So another example. After this, I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay. So this is where we use masking. All right. So you cannot see the dissolve effect, but you can see like the beam is continue from one scene to another scene. So these effects, you can do it inside your smartphone because they already have a default masking that you can be used to transit between one scene to another scene. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, for these two technique. All right, it's quite simple. Okay, first, as usual, we're going to bring our two clip together. Okay, so I have my first clip. Okay, this is the first clip. All right. So when you shoot your video, make sure you have an ample time for beginning and ending. Okay, if you move too fast, then it's a bit hard for us to have like a ending point or beginning point. All right. So this is the first clip. So done. We're going to bring our second clip. Okay, I think this one. Okay. All right. Okay. So when you want to do this type of transition, so make sure the movement line between scene to scene is in the same line. Because for this tutorial, actually I shot it wrongly, where it's supposed to be left to right, but now I shoot it in the same side. So for that, it's quite okay. What we can do inside our Premiere, we can rotate or we can reflect our screen, right? So we need like the movement. This one is move to the left, and this one is move to the right lah. So then we can combine between these two shots. Alright, to do it, it's quite simple. First, we need to remove the shot that we don't want to use. Okay, I'm going to take this part. Okay, move it to the beam. Alright, and for this part, okay, we're going to start from here. Okay, to here. Okay, first what we need to do, we need to reflect our parking scene. Okay, to change the direction so that we can stitch the scene together using a masking or using a dissolve transition. Okay, to do that is quite simple. So what we need to do, we need to go to our effect panel. Okay, so from here, what we can do, we go to our video effects, and there's a lot of effect that you can use. Yeah, so then we can go to transform and choose horizontal flip, where we can flip our scene to make it right. Yes. Okay, June. So when we put it together, all right, so we need to cut it more for this part. Okay, going to cut it more until here. Oops. Zoom into my timeline. Okay, we're going to shorten the clip. So for this part, we're going to take okay, for this clip, I need to change a bit. We need to make it in the same order, same movement that will be continuing. Yes. Okay, let me make it longer a bit. Okay. So right click in the middle of the two clip, and we are going to apply a default transition where it become dissolve between the two clip. Yes. So for this technique, when we apply a cross dissolve, we still can see the transformation between one scene to another scene. But since that we're using the beam as our main object for transition between the scene, so it looks a little bit better. What we need to do is to adjust the timing and also adjust the timing for our transition. Okay, this is quite simple to do. Okay, make sure you have the same object to do the transition for between scene. Okay, you can use like a people as a main object, or you can use like a beam, cabinet, any object that bigger inside your scene, so that we can use it as the same object, then we transit it to the next scene. All right. So this is how we stitch two clip together. All right. That end with the same object, and then we use cross dissolve to stitch it together. So for this also, what we can do is a masking technique. So this one is a bit hard, but the effect is look more better than the dissolve, where this is the dissolve. And then we're going to do the masking. Okay, so to do the masking, again, we need our two clip together. Okay, this is our two clip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy and paste. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to move it and going to remove the transition. And what we're going to do, okay, we're going to put these two clips in two different layers. So now we have video in layer 2 And then I'm going to put our first clip on the layer 3. So here we're going to make it a little bit longer. Okay. Let me zoom into my timeline. Okay. Before that, I'm going to remove the audio clip. We don't need to use it. Okay, going to make it a bit longer. Okay. So from here, so we have the movement. So what we need to do, we need to apply masking. Okay. So to apply masking is quite simple. For those who are new to Adobe Premiere, okay, we have effect control panel where when you selected your clip and when we go to our effect control panel, so this is where we can apply any motion effects or controller that you want to use for your video. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do, so we're going to add on a masking. So to create a masking, it's quite simple. All right. So we go to our effect control. So inside our control, we have our motion effect, we have our opacity, and also we have our time remapping. So I'm going to show to you time remapping after this. Okay, focus on the opacity. All right. Okay, focus on the opacity. So underneath the opacity here, let me zoom in. Okay. All right. So focus on the opacity where we have our basic shape, circle, and rectangular. And also you can use pen tool to create your masking shape. So for this, I'm going to use basic rectangular. So once you click it, so we will have our first mask. So this is our masking one. Okay. So for the masking one, what we need to do, we need to change the size, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So this one, we're going to make it bigger. All right. But for this, okay, I don't want to, okay, I'm going to make it straight because we're going to create a new beam that we're going to use for our transition. So this beam, we're going to cut it here. So we are not using until we are not using the size of the beam, yeah. So we're going to cheat a bit and make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So we have our masking. All right. So this masking need to be play around and then need to be moved. Okay. I'm going to hide my second video so that we can see our video that we already create masking for it. Okay. So this one is be here. Okay. I'm going to minimize my video. All right. So we have our mask shape. So I'm going to make it straight. Okay, we're going to move it together. So this will be our new beam. So we're going to animate it and we're going to move it according to our scene. So to do that, so we're going to animate our mask path. So inside After Effects, inside Adobe Premiere, if you see an icon like a stopwatch, that means this parameter can be animated. Okay, so to do that is quite simple. All right, so we have our shape, so our masking shape. So what we need to do, we need to move it together with our beam. Okay, let's say this is where it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to put our first keyframe here. All right, and when we move our beam, or sorry, when we move our scene, okay, outside of our screen, so we can add another keyframe and we can move our mask. All right, I'm going to move it, oops, and I put it over here. So what happened? Okay, so the masking is moving. Okay, but the first one, is here, but before that, we're going to do, I'm going to make it, because we don't want to see the black area here. All right, so we're going to change or to modify our masking so that we can see all our scene before we cut our beam. Yes. Okay. So to stitch it together with this, so I'm going to do, so you're going to adjust the second video down here, okay, to make sure this line is quite similar with this line. All right, so we're going to move it. We're going to change it there. So when the scene is moving, see, we change our scene already. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer, the clip. So this is the trick and tips when you apply masking in your transition, where still we're using the same object to mask. Sometimes you can use like the characters running or the cars moving, okay, and or any bigger object that cover part of your scene before we transit to second clip. So first technique we use dissolve, normal dissolve. So the second technique we use masking, where we create a new beam for our scene. Okay, nice. So this is how we create a seamless transition between our clip. Okay, first we using like a fade to black. Second, we using a masking and transition for our clip. Right. Okay. So next technique that we can do for our transition, it's time remapping. Okay. For time remapping, actually it's quite simple. This is being used a lot, especially when you want to do like an intro video, or if you want to do like a product, like a product video. Okay. So people love to use this effect, okay, to create like a motion effect in our scene, right? So to do it, actually it will best if you have a sound guideline, so we can change it according to the beat. Okay, so this is example where we're going to use time remapping in our scene. This one you can use it for like your B-roll shoot, or for your landscape, or for product where the product is spinning. Okay, there's a lot of way you can use that. All right, so we're going to make it bigger, my scene, sorry, my screen, and then let's play it. Okay, so it's normal speed, fast, and then we can reverse it, and then we can fast forward. So this is time remapping. So usually time remapping we use it to cut the length of our video, but we want to show all the action. Especially when we have like the product process, or when we shoot our drone or landscape of our building or environment. So we love to use this effect to create more attitude to our video. Okay. So to do it, it's quite simple. Okay. So everything is inside our effect control panel. All right. For time remapping, I'm not sure you can do it inside your smartphone, but I think some of apps can do it. All right. So let's bring our clip timeline. So we're going to our project panel. Okay, this is my video. This video from Morib Gold Coast. Okay, on the normal speed, it will look like this. All right. So to add time remapping, to make it like a fast forward, what we're going to do is we go to our effect control. Okay, inside our effect control, there's a parameter called time remapping. So where we can change the speed. As I said before, when you see a parameter with the stopwatch icon, so that's mean you can animate or you can control that parameter. Okay. Alright, let's try to do our time remapping. Okay, for this clip, I'm going to start from here and we're going to make it a fast forward. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we need to add a keyframe. So this is a keyframe button. So we're going to add keyframe. Alright, and then we're going to move our clip. Okay, sometimes some of the action need to be fast forward. Alright, so until here, we're going to create another keyframe, and then we're going to extend our parameter where we can see this our two keyframe and the velocity speed of our clip. So as you can see here, there's a gray line inside the speed or time remapping parameter. So what we're going to do, just bring your cursor to the line so you can see the up and down arrow, where you can make it slow if you bring it down, or you make it fast forward when we bring it to the up. So I'm going to make it fast forward here, so it becomes shorter there. All right, so when we play our video, so it will look like something like this. All right. Okay, so this is how we do our time remapping. Okay, so after that, to do a reverse movement, all right, what we need to do, we need to cut our clip at the same point of our second keyframe. All right, so we cut it. Okay, so we have our clip split to two. So for this part, what we're going to do, we're going to reverse the motion. Okay, so to reverse the motion, it's quite simple. Simply right click on your clip, go to speed and duration. All right, so from here, choose reverse speed. Okay, so when you choose reverse speed and then click OK, so now our clip is in reverse mode, where this is the beginning, okay, and here is the ending. So what we're going to do, first, we're going to remove the audio because I don't want to use the audio. So I'll use alternate and click on the clip and then click delete. So I'm going to put my cursor at the end of my clip. So we're going to do, I'm going to extend it. And then I'm going to cut it in front. So because this is the beginning, so it will move back. Yes. Okay. So after that, we're going to bring our clip and attach it together with our previous clip. So when we play our video, so we have a time remapping here, fast forward. Okay, and then it will change to reverse. And then we're going to cut it again because we're going to make a fast forward effect. All right. And we have our third clip. And same thing again, right click on it, go to speed and duration, and click reverse speed again, unclick or uncheck, and click OK. So what happened? So our video is become, this is the beginning and this is the ending point. So same like before, move our cursor to the end of our clip, extend it, cut the front part, and we're going to attach it together. So where we have our fast forward action, so fast, reverse, and then normal speed gain, or here we can change the speed over here, make it like a normal. All right, and then we can add another clip to make it more fast and fast forward for our clip. Oops, too fast. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop here. Add a keyframe. I'm going to bring the velocity, make it higher. So now our clip become fast forward. So this is time remapping that usually we love to use it for our like a vlogs, our journey, for a product shoot, okay, where we try to play around with our scene and make it like we give attitude to it. Okay, so when you use Premiere, so when you bring your clip to the timeline, always check on your effect control, where there's a lot of things that we can do it here. Okay, all right, that's the, I think the second tips for our transition today. All right, so the last one will be before and after. So before and after, usually we love to use it to show a time is moving, or to show a before scene and after scene. Usually, if let's say we have an event program, let's say a product launch, okay, or for our vlogs video. So we love to use this before and after effect, where it looks like something like this. All right. So this is 3 example that I'm going to show it to you. It's quite easy to do. Okay. So okay, let me make it bigger a bit. So this is first example where we use a normal dissolve. Okay, as you can see, we change our scene from empty classes. So this is my classes. Okay, we change the scene before is empty classes. We shoot yesterday after our class is finished. Okay, and then we transition to yesterday classes in the noon, where the student is already inside the lab, and we're using a basic dissolve to dissolve between these two scenes. So before is empty and after. So this technique is quite good if you want to show like your event shooting before the event start, after the event, when the event already started. Okay, so it's quite good when you use this tip or tricks in your transition. Okay, all right, so that's one example. Okay, the next one, what we're going to do is same clip, but we're going to change a bit, where we're going to add light on it. Okay, where this transition we call it adaptive transition. Okay, dissolve will be dissolve as smooth, but this dissolve it put more light. Okay, where we can see the scene change dramatically. Okay, the first scene or first video, it will looks more smooth. Okay, but this one we add like a light effect to our scene, all right, to make it more dramatic. Okay, to shoot this, so make sure you plan your shooting, and please mark your camera where it will be, or where you should put your camera. Okay, so that your scene will look more nicer, or when we transit it, it will blend better. Okay, so the next one, it will be a bit different, the same scene, but we're going to use a different technique. It's quite this one is we are using marking, still before and after. Okay, let's see it. Okay, oops. Okay, before that I need to unhide my first video. Okay, so start here. All right, going to maximize my screen. Okay, start here. Nice. Okay, the first two clip is a transition or dissolve in the middle of two clip. But for this one, it's like a swipe from the beginning to the ending while the camera is panning to the right. Okay, so here, this is where we're using masking to stitch together these two clips. If you use tripod and you mark where your camera location is, so you have the same distance and your clip will look more better than this. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we do before and after using three technique: masking, okay, additive dissolve, and also normal cross dissolve. So I'm going to show you, okay, how we're going to do it. All right. So let's bring our clip to our timeline. So I'm going to go to my project panel. So project panel where you put all your video. Yeah? So import all your video here. So it's quite easy for you to edit later. All right. So for the video will be here. So I'm going to show our empty classes. Where is our empty classes? Oh, this one, right? So this is our empty classes. Okay, I'm using the third clip. 1, 2. Okay, this one. Okay, this is the empty classes. Okay, we're going to cut it. Okay, I'm going to move the audio. We don't need to use the audio. Nice. So going to take the middle point here as our middle point for transition for our two clip. Yeah. Okay, so this is my first clip, the before the empty classes. Next one, we're going to bring the second clip where we have all the students there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Going to move. All right, I'm going to cut it here. Okay, and make sure also the movement of your camera in the same speed. Yeah? Then it will make the effect better. All right, same. So for the first clip, we taking the middle point here for our transition point. So we're going to cut it here. Oops, before you cut it, we mark it again. So this is in the middle. Okay, and we're going to bring it together. Okay, let me zoom in a bit. And I don't need to use the audio. All right. So on the jump cut or normal cut, it will look like this. Okay, simply suddenly the student is appear. All right. So right click in the middle of it, apply a default transition. Okay, default transition, it will take like a 1 minute for transition. All right, as you can see, let me make it bigger for our screen. Okay, from first clip and second clip, since that we didn't mark our camera, so the shot size is a bit different between these two scenes. So we need to modify it a bit in our effect control, where we can change the size of our clip. So it look like our second clip is a little bit smaller. All right. So go to our second clip, go to our effect control, look for the motion. So here we can modify the position and also the scale. So let's say the scale, we make it bigger. Okay, we make it bigger. And then position, we can rearrange it according to the X and Y position. All right, this one we move it a bit, make it a little bit similar so that we can have a better transition between these two clips. Okay, tune. So let's see what's happening. Nice. Okay, when you resize your shot or you reposition your shot, sometimes we can see the black area here, but don't worry about that because we can render it and make it bigger. Yeah, after this. So our objective here to make sure the transition looks smooth between these two clips. So this is basic cross dissolve. So we have our student there. So to make it or to add more dramatic effect or adding a lighting effect, so I'm going to copy this, going to paste it here, bring it to the video 2. So we're going to change cross dissolve to additive dissolve. Okay, for that we need to go to our effects, go to our video transitions. So inside our dissolve folder, so we have a few dissolve, additive, cross, deep to black, and others. So for this tutorial, we're going to use additive dissolve, where it put or it add contrast effect or light effect for our transition. So it will like something like this. Okay, it's become like a fade to white and then change to the next scene. Okay, both is okay for you to use. Okay, uh, as long as which one you prefer lah. You prefer the normal dissolve or the additive dissolve. Okay, so again, the tips to do this before and after, you need to mark the location of your camera and then the size of your shot. Okay, so the next scene will be masking. This one is a bit tricky, but quite similar with the first masking the one that we do. So first, I'm going to copy these two clips first. All right, I'm going to bring it front, but we are going to separate the clip. We're going to put one on the top of others. So the first clip I'm going to put on the top. So the second one we're going to put underneath. Okay. So where we use this point, the midpoint, as the transition point for these two clips. So we're going to extend it and extend this. So when we apply masking, okay, so when you apply masking to our video, all right, so we need to apply to the underneath clip. All right, so the first, for the top clip, what we're going to do, we're going to apply opacity for it. All right, so we're going to do this the midpoint. I'm going to go to my effect control. Okay, go to your opacity. Okay, my opacity is opacity. All right. Okay, click on the stopwatch, make it 100% opacity, and then we're going to move our playhead to the end of our clip. I'm going to add another keyframe, and I'm going to change it to 0%, so we can see the transition there. Okay, but we don't want it to do it something like this. Okay, we want to make it like a wipe become to the next scene. All right, so to do that, okay, I'm going to remove the opacity. Okay, so we're going to apply masking. Okay, on our first clip. All right, so we go to our mask over here. So when we apply our mask, so it's automatically show our second clip or the after clip. So to do that, so what we're going to do, we're going to invert it. All right, so we can see our after clip is underneath our clip, or we can also focus on here. Okay, both also works. All right, so we just need to modify or move the masking shape according to our camera movement. All right, so this one you're going to put it here. All right, so when we move it, okay, so we're going to move it together according to the camera movement. So let's make it bigger a bit. Okay. All right. So this is the beginning. So we see the empty classes. All right. So we go to our beginning. Okay, going to start here. go to our mask and going to click stopwatch on our mask path parameter. All right. So now we have our stopwatch here, and we're going to move our cursor or playhead to at the end of our clip. Okay, and click on our mask, and I'm going to move the keyframe of the screen. Nice. So when you move it, so it will look like something like this. It's like a wipe. Okay, but to make it more smooth, what we're going to do, we're going to apply a mask feather. So mask feather will make it our masking border will from the hard edge to the smooth edge. So we're going to add our feather. I'm going to add like 200. So when we move our scene, so we can see it's changing or wipe from one clip to another clip. So this is another technique for us to use, like a before and after technique for our scene. Okay, to show the time is already changed or moving. So the next thing you need to do is to modify the timeline or the timing of your clip. Okay, and then make sure the transition smooth between the two scenes, so it will look more better for your video. So this is example that I did earlier. Okay, and also okay, I think right. So this is for the wipe transition or before and after. Okay, let me find my first one. I think this one. Okay. Alright, so you just need to modify the timing because the camera movement is not in the same space or same speed. Okay, that's why the video it doesn't look that better. But this is the effect that we're going to create in our before and after. Okay, so before and after, three techniques you can use across dissolve. Again, I'm going to make it bigger. Okay, so first technique using cross dissolve. From empty classes to occupied classes. Okay, second technique using additive dissolve, where we create a light transition. And then the last one where we're using a masking, okay, to wipe between one scene to another scene. Okay, from empty classes to occupied with the student. Okay, so that's the transition that I would like to share to you for today. Okay, where we applied a lot in our video, because usually our objective is to make a smooth transition or seamless transition for our video, so that it's easy or it's a please to audience to see it, especially when you do like a product or corporate video, and sometimes we apply it also to our vlog video or for our YouTube video. Okay, so again, so that's a modern technique and transition, where modern technique is simple, straightforward, all right, social media friendly, and we already learned about the seamless transition, where I already shared to you 4 types of transition that we can use. It's a fade to black, object masking, time remapping, and also before and after. Okay, so previously there's a question from participation regarding the free source that you can use for Premiere. So this is the free source that you can go. Okay, it's not free, but sometimes they offer part of it, partially of it free, but most of it you need to pay. Okay, where I always go to witsi.com where we can get our free HD stock footage and 4K video. So this one usually I go for like a background video for our video. All right, so you can use it as your background. For the pro video, that one you need to pay, but the rest is license to use, okay? Or you need to credit the author or the creator of the video. So this is witc.com where I download my 4K background. And another website that you can go to the Storybook. Storybook is quite good, but you need to pay for it. Okay. Uh, I think is that one is monthly. Okay. Where Storyblock is offer a lot of stock video that you can use for your video. So this is the price that you need to pay when you use a Storyblock. Okay, but there's a lot of stock video that you can use for your presentation or for your video. Other than that, that I love also to use is motionarray.com. So motionarray.com doesn't offer stock footage, okay, but it offer like a template that you can download and use it with your Premiere, Photoshop, not Photoshop, sorry, After Effects. So there's a lot of template that you can use and you can download. So Motion Array to create your video instantly or time saving, because there's a lot of template. Okay, and there's a free one, and also you can use the free one also, or if you have a budget, you can buy a better template for your video. But I always use Motion Array for as like a video references when we do our video for our in-house or also client. Okay, so if you come to my physical classes, we will talk about more how to download and to use the template. Okay, because to cover the template, it will take like more than 1 hour, because you need to understand the structure of how the Premiere work and how to modify the template so that we can use it and reuse it again. And I also will teach you how to create your own template so that it will make your workflow easy and faster. Okay, so this is the three sites that I can share to you that I use a lot for my video, okay, or my project. Especially Motion Array, I'll go there to find references and idea. Okay, I think that's it for today from me. Okay, if you have anything you want to ask, you can ask. So before we end this session, I think I will pass back to Liana. Yeah, to take over this session. Yeah, Liana.
Okay,
If you have anything you want to ask, you can ask in the chat room.
okay. First of all, thank you, Mr. Ismaili, and thank you to everyone who joined this free webinar session. Okay, we will have our physical class on 27 and 28 October. For the 2 days, we will cover Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. And for those companies who plan to send their staff for more than 2 packs, we have a special promotion for group fee. And also for company, we also provide in-house training for this video editing. That's all from my side. We will share the video recording for this session through the email and WhatsApp, and we will exit the WhatsApp group after we send the recorded video. Thank you and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you, James. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Michelle. Hope to see you guys again. Thank you, Ravinash. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Sully. Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Akila. Thank you, Yusri. Thank you, Edward.